good? Come on in the room. I'm just doing some things in the back. Welcome. Come on in. Let me check this. Right. Come on. All right. Wow. Thank you so much. Let me know if you can hear me now, Michelle's daughter. Thank you for your communication. And actually let me know just how long it's been that way. It wasn't that way from the beginning, was it? Let me know. Thanks for the communication. I'm waiting for your feedback. Let me know if you can hear me clearly right now. Let me know, Michelle's daughter. I'm still waiting on you. Could you hear me just fine? Let me actually turn on. Let's see. Testing. Yeah, you can hear me. I'm coming through. I'm coming through. Uh, I guess she may have bounced out, but thank you so much. So I don't even know where I broke off. I'm going to assume that it wasn't from the beginning. Okay, she wrote, "I'm back." Let's see. Let me highlight this just to follow. I don't want to be behind. There you go. Okay, you're back. So my audio should be fine. I don't think it was from the beginning. Um, but thanks for coming through. Thanks for tuning in with me. And dropping down in the chat, being my first responder, Michelle's daughter. But I was saying that there was a subscriber, that mentioned how the last time I showed the transgender umbrella, that I kind of glossed by or brushed by the way I edited. I brushed by the other categories, just to make a point about cross dressers. So I wanted to list all of the different categories that fit under the transgender umbrella, and I'm gonna explain that a little more. But I would like to show that again, and I edit it in a different way where you can see it all. But the different categories that's under this particular one is intersex, genderqueer, drag kings, cross-dresser slash transvestite, transsexual man slash transgender man. Here you go. Transsexual woman slash transgender woman, gender nonconforming, drag queens, and then bi gender. I wanted to point out that I've come across some umbrellas, TG umbrellas, transgender umbrellas, where androgynous people actually fit under that. They're so easy to find. And I noticed the umbrellas that they have, like in the UK, over in Britain. Some of them may be slightly different than the ones here in America. But I would like to show that real quick. And I also would like to point out too, that just because you have all these people in all these different categories under the TG umbrella does not mean that they identify as transgender. Like they wouldn't particularly do that. It depends on the context, but they're not someone that goes around saying like just because you're a crossdresser or drag queen or transvestite does not make you feel like you're a woman inside. So they don't particularly call themselves TG, especially in the black community. Let me see this. So here's the edited version that you guys had asked, well, that the subscriber had asked for. Let's see if I can get to it. Here we go. All right. All right, so that highlights a better look at it. So you got to see all the different categories, and like I said, the majority of people in those categories would not identify themselves as transgender. The only ones that would do that in those categories are people who feel like the opposite gender from the sex that they were born from. You know, when you have that disconnect, it's called gender dysphoria. But so it would only be those particular groups, and that wouldn't be even most of them. So I did want to point that out because I didn't get to point that out last time that we talked about that. But let's get to another Word, have you ever heard the phrase "my good Judy"? Okay, so Julie Garland has a connection to that, but I'm gonna tell you what a good Judy is. A good Judy, a lot of these new millennium black homosexuals, this is my own opinion. They got shit fucked up. They think a good Judy is like a heterosexual female, cis-born female that goes out with you to clubs and accompany you when you go particular places. But no, a Judy is normally like a heterosexual female who supports their gay friend and also who protects their gay friend. And a Judy is like synonymous to ally. But I'm gonna show particular things dealing with the Judy because I hear that word thrown around. Judy, Judy, me and my good Judy. Good old Judy. I'm gonna play that one more time. The ride or die element and the family element speaks to the support and also the protection. But a good old Judy is not just someone that accompanies you when you go out to a club. A good old Judy is definitely an ally, and our ally is not just a party fun. Um, but that's what it's become for a lot of different people. You may have heard the phrase, they always put good in front of it. I heard good Judy, good old Judy, and good Judy. The first time I ever heard good, before it being referenced to a put sex, to a vagina, would have been good, my good old Judy. That whole repetition there. Um, and let's speak about sexual fluid or fluidity. Um, that's when you're uh, uh, okay. So if someone references, yo, this is fresh in the B sector. Someone that's been using the word fluid. The past and describing particular people. He was using it as a form of shade, but that whole thing means that you're dependent on the circumstances, that your sexuality is not fixed and that it could is on a spectrum and that it could slide. You know, if you ever heard like the Kinsley scale, but we get a definition of sexual fluidity. Here goes. Let's get it. So we're saying your attraction from one gender to another could change depending on the circumstances. And that's just like a baseline definition of sexual fluidity, but that's been kind of like thrown around as shade. Yo, it's so much reference to sex, like in people's sexualities in this sector, and no one really like gripes or complains or questions it. But sometimes when people try to have like adult conversations just about sexuality, in general, just in terms of if it's informational or educational, like in terms of learning terms, because people get shit fucked up all the damn time. Um, I feel like sometimes that's frowned upon, which is weird when talking under people's clothes and all of that shit and putting things, parts and people and younger people mouths and all that shit is said. And no one really like raise an eyebrow. It's just weird to me. Um, Let me see what's going on here. Yes, I can hear. Know it cut out in the middle. Thanks for your feedback, Michelle's daughter. Appreciate you. Okay. And I'm about to get out of here. Let's see. What else do I have? So I spoke about the good old Judy, sexual fluidity. Thank you so much. All right. And lastly, I'm gonna add this for the same gender loving definition. Since let's see, and then I'm out of here after that. Let's see. So here's a definition for same gender loving. Not my audio. I just put together the footage, so the images and all that. Let's see. Here goes.
Same-gender loving, or SGL, a term coined for African American use by activist Cleo Manago, is a description for homosexuals and bisexuals in the African American community. It emerged in the early 1990s as a culturally affirming African American homosexual identity. SGL was adapted as an Afrocentric alternative to what are deemed Eurocentric homosexual identities which do not culturally affirm or engage the history and cultures of people of African descent. The term SGL usually has broad, important and positive personal, social, and political purposes and consequences. SGL is anti-hate and anti-black. In a 2004 study of African American men, most of whom were recruited from black gay organizations, 12% identified as same-gender loving, while 53% identified as gay. Men attending black gay pride festivals in 9 U.S. cities in 2000 responded similarly, with 10% identifying as same-gender loving, 66% as gay, and 14% as bisexual. Recent studies indicate that African American disadvantaged youths are less likely than Euro-American youths to self-label as gay male.
So there that is. I want it. I'll save it for the next time. But I could tell I'm gonna be returning with different content pertaining to different labels as it comes up. I'm thinking like the next time I probably, whenever that will be, I probably would like touch on like cisgender, different things like that. I'm just hearing a lot of ignorance. I could tell there's like misunderstanding or lack of, let's say, familiarity with particular um, labels and different terms, and also just yeah, confusion. I would say confusion. You know, I pointed that out before. What people do between sexual identity and gender identities. How people like tend to misconstrue them. But I'm about to that wraps it up. I'm about to get out of here. I have a lot to do, a lot on my plate. Earlier, I made early in the morning. Yes, I did. I made me some jerk chicken wings. Yes, I did. Let me look over in the chat and see what's going on there before I hop off. Okay, that was cute in the middle. Okay, no more. Well, thank you so much for dropping in with me, Michelle Doherty. That's what I look for. I enjoyed your company, enjoyed your stay. Thanks for interacting with me too, and letting me know about my audio because I would have never known. I would have never known. I'm still learning this StreamYard shit. I was about to call it stereo, but I'm still learning this StreamYard shit. But I'm about to wrap this up. Let me find something to get out of here with. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can hear my phone in the background. Shit crazy. You guys have a good one. Y'all be easy. You take care. That wraps it up. Now let's get it.